So, this happened 3 years ago when I was visiting my family in Arizona with my mom. We were staying at my sister's and her husband's new home. It was a fairly large and up-to-date house. The room I was staying in was upstairs, and my mom's room was downstairs. Since the home was new, there wasn't a lot of furniture. My room consisted of a small mattress in the far corner and had 2 doors on each side of the opposite corner. One led into the empty walk-in closet, and the other was the exit into the hallway. It was quite small and had a single window that didn't bring in much sunlight. Now I'm the type of person that likes to sleep with some kind of light on because I don't like complete darkness, but the room only had a ceiling fan light. I decided I was going to sleep in the dark and play Netflix or YouTube videos on my phone for a source of light so that I could fall asleep. Everything was great except when it was nighttime. I always felt a little creeped out when I went to sleep, but I just blamed it on being afraid of the dark. Still, I couldn't shake that eerie feeling I had whenever I was within the room. About a few days in, I did my normal routine of getting ready for bed and then putting something on my phone to watch. As I was drifting off to sleep, I had this odd feeling I was being watched, so I kept looking up from my screen and scanning the room, but there wasn't anything there. I finally fell asleep, but then woke up abruptly. I figured it was really early in the morning, so I checked my phone to see the time, and it was exactly 3 a.m. I was kind of freaked out, so I rolled over and looked around the room. My heart sank, and I felt that pain that sears through your body when something instantly terrifies you. In the corner, I see this tall, dark figure. The room was already pitch black, but this humanoid thing was somehow even blacker than the darkness itself. I could see the outline. It was as tall as the ceiling and had a slim figure. I remember the hands were so large, with long, skinny fingers. I couldn't see its face, but I could feel it staring at me, unmoving. Man, it makes me tear up thinking about it now. Not because I'm gonna cry, but it was such an intense fear that I don't feel often. The weird part about it, though, is that I didn't scream or anything. I knew it wasn't human, and I don't know how to explain it, but I just felt that reacting was pointless. It was standing in the corner between the 2 doors, so escaping wasn't an option either. I just quickly turned around, put the covers over my head, and turned on the first video on YouTube and started praying. It felt like I blinked, because then suddenly it was morning. The sun was peering into my room, and I turned my head to look in the corner where I saw the man last night. Relief washed over me as I figured it was some sort of dream or sleep paralysis. Except for when I unlocked my phone, YouTube appeared with the replay button on the same video I clicked on last night when I was hiding under the covers. The fear came back as I realized that this all had actually happened to some extent. My sister came into the room with her 2 dogs to say good morning and told me to get ready for the day we had planned. I started getting ready with the door open and the dogs were in the room with me. They both went to the closed closet door and started whining and scratching at it. That really started to freak me out, so I opened it and peeked inside with my friend on the phone because I was about to pee my pants, to be honest. There was nothing in there, just an empty closet. I went downstairs to eat breakfast and told my family about it. They thought it was creepy, but just shrugged it off, thinking it was my imagination. My sister said that sometimes the dogs would do that to the closed doors in the house, but honestly I felt like they sensed something. I did actually keep sleeping in that room though. Nothing more happened, and I kept the ceiling light on for a little while longer at night. It just weirds me out thinking back because I fell asleep so fast after being scared like that. And then it felt like I blinked one moment and it was morning. My family jokes about me being abducted by aliens, but honestly, sometimes I wonder. This has only happened a handful of times, and it only seems to happen when I'm alone. In my house, we have a TV room on the middle floor, and the room directly above it on the second floor is my parents' room. Sometimes I'll hear some kind of muffled talking coming from the TV room. It's very monotone, and there's no pauses, kind of like a news broadcast, but I can never make out the words. It goes on for maybe 3 or 4 seconds, and then it stops, and it's always in that same room. I obviously check the TV in that room, and it's always off. We don't have any radios nearby. The first few times, I was never in the room when it was happening, and it stopped by the time I got there. The last time it happened, I was actually in the room, and the best way to describe it is it sounds like the TV in my parents' room above is on, and the volume is set to like 1,000. Their TV volume doesn't go super high, and it's never turned on and off before by itself. And the houses in my neighborhood are pretty far apart, so I know it's not people talking outside. It's just a strange, random occurrence that happens every once in a while. Three months ago, I met my girlfriend. We were dating at the time, actually. It was a long-distance deal. She lived roughly 900 miles away from me, and neither of us had a way to get to each other. It sucked, but that's not the point. So last August, I was at my local grocery store, checking out the books, when I saw someone out of the corner of my eye. Someone who looked exactly like her. I snapped around to face her, and sure enough, it was my girlfriend. My girlfriend who couldn't drive, and my girlfriend who didn't have any money to stay anywhere, and didn't have anybody willing to drive her. Needless to say, I was skeptical. I approached her, got her attention, and she met my eyes. She gasped, hugged me, and spent a good 5 minutes talking to me about how happy she was to finally meet me. We spent the next 3 hours or so talking about everything while she evades questions as to why and how she's here. Then I got a message from her, sent from her hometown at that exact moment. I looked up and, without saying anything, she walks away. That night, she broke up with me because, quote, I feel like I have to. We haven't spoke since. So, I'm freaking out about this, and I don't know what to do. I even made an account here to write about this after Googling results online. I hope I'm doing this right. It's my first time on Reddit, and first time making a post. I live with 2 roommates in a house that we rent. The 2 roommates are dating, and they are currently in Hawaii before the cold season starts here on the East Coast. They have a friend that visits occasionally, and he eventually became my friend as well. 2 nights ago, around 7 p.m., after I've gotten off work, someone rings the doorbell. I found that weird, as our friends normally just text because the bell's super loud. So I was even more surprised when I looked through the peephole, and it was Mike, our friend, at the door. He apologized and said that his phone was out of battery, so he couldn't text, hence why he rang the doorbell. And he told me that he'd come over to keep me company. I invited him in, and we talked for a good 3 hours. We turned on Netflix to Narcos and went through about 3 episodes. We talked about our lives, his work, my work, etc. It was super nice, and I did enjoy the company. He left because it was getting late and told me that we should do this again sometime. That night, I texted my roommates what happened and went to sleep. The next morning, I have a text waiting from them saying that Mike's out of the country at the moment, and that he has been for the last 2 weeks. He's currently doing some educational volunteer work in the Marshall Islands and won't be back till the winter. I automatically think they're pranking me and decide to text Mike. When he doesn't answer my text message, I decide to Facebook him instead. He answers within a couple hours, saying that he's in Marshall Islands and that it's beautiful, and how he'll be uploading photos on Facebook soon. I don't know what to do, and I don't know what to think. We don't have security cameras, so there's no way for me to prove I was with somebody, other than Netflix showing that the 3 episodes of Narcos were played, and the snacks that we ate while talking. I've been freaked out and in panic mode since yesterday, and I feel like I don't know anything anymore. I had this imaginary friend when I was young, but something was different about her. She never gave me good feelings and always told me, quote, "Life will do everything in its power to hurt you, so don't expect me to be nice." She was like a drill sergeant and wouldn't even let me eat till I did a certain number of nice things for her. She of course would assign me things, sometimes right before I was about to eat. And whenever I drew, for some reason, I couldn't draw anything super cute or nice unless it was her. She once told me that she'd be watching over me, and I never understood what that meant. But whenever I think about her now, I feel the need to look under everywhere to make sure she's not there. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed what you saw today, feel free to hit that like button and maybe consider subscribing. If you really like what you saw, I have a few other videos on my channel. Feel free to check them out. Alright, hope you have a good night. Bye.